Hello, everybody. Welcome to YAAAMS Nation, where we read between the lines and try to connect these dots. On January 3rd, 2019, the Lifetime Network released the docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, a 6-part series detailing the sexual abuse allegations against the singer R. Kelly. Now, one of the main executive producers was Hampton. I briefly discussed her connection to R. Kelly and Jay-Z in a previous video. The link is below. Basically, she was a writer in the music industry back in the day. And in the summer of 2000, she did a feature story on R. Kelly and spent 4 or 5 days in his studio. Now, I'm not going to speculate what happened in that studio, but whatever happened, she has spent 19 years pursuing this singer. 19 years. In 2019, she did a guest column for The Hollywood Reporter. She wrote about how and why she feels the way she does about R. Kelly. Now, to me, because of her personal feelings towards R. Kelly, she should have recused herself from the project so there wouldn't be a conflict of interest. This is a serious topic. She talked about, from her point of view, she wanted to get justice for his past deeds. Many people felt that way, that R. Kelly avoided the law and got away with a lot of misconduct. But did R. Kelly get away with some heinous crimes, especially in high-profile situations? First, Aaliyah. Rest in peace. Back in the 1990s, there was rumors that he had married Aaliyah, who was 15 at the time. R. Kelly was in his late 20s. Journalists found proof of this, but nothing happened to R. Kelly. Why? Because the Aaliyah family didn't want to pursue the issue. In the second notable situation, a sex tape with R. Kelly and a 14-year-old girl surfaced in 2002. And in 2008, R. Kelly went on trial for this. He was acquitted even though there was evidence of a tape. Now ask yourself, why was he acquitted? One, the girl didn't want to take the stand. Her parents didn't even want to take the stand. They did not want to testify. Now you have two situations where the family didn't even want to do anything about it. Why do you guys think they didn't want to testify? However, the girl's aunt, Sparkle, she did testify. Now, Sparkle began her career in 1998. She was a protege of R. Kelly. She is best known for her hit song, Be Careful. R. Kelly produced it, and he was on the song. As a matter of fact, she is the one who introduced the girl, the 14-year-old girl, to R. Kelly. And she is also the one who went to the police and said the girl on the tape was her 14-year-old niece, and the man in the video was R. Kelly. This is the main reason why the prosecutors decided to prosecute the case, because Sparkle became their key witness. Now, while she was on the stands, R. Kelly lawyers caught her in a lie. Ginson is one of R. Kelly lawyers. So basically, R. Kelly got off for the same reason O.J. Simpson got off. Back in 1995, O.J. was on trial for the murder of his ex-wife and her friend. The key witness in the case was Mark Fuhrman, an LA police officer. Fuhrman is the one who found the key piece of evidence by OJ's house, the bloody glove. But during the trial, he was caught in a lie about his past use of the N-word. There was many people who tried to say OJ's lawyers made it about race. But in reality, it wasn't about race, it was about lying. It is very hard to convict someone of a serious crime if the key witness is caught lying on the stand. And this is what happened in the R. Kelly case. Sparkle was caught lying on the stand. And even a juror said he didn't believe the girls.
I just didn't believe them, the woman.
But before we get into this documentary, let me say this, because some of y'all gonna be like, Yammy, you being insensitive. You're not showing compassion for the victims. It's not that, folks. Let me tell y'all something right now. When I was 4 years old, my mother married my stepfather. And for the next 10 years, she was in an abusive relationship. The first 5 years, I was like, leave my mama alone. The next 5 years, I was like, Mama, why you with this man? When I was in college, at a party one night, there was a young girl from another race who slept with 3 or 4 brothers on the football team. At the same time, it was all party fun. I remember after they was done with the fun, how she was laughing and giggling until her family found out what she did. Party Fun quickly turned into a rape case. I remember seeing her on the stand, crying, tears in her eyes. So I'm not affected by these after-the-fact tears. Meaning someone took pleasure in a situation and then later on want to cry about it. I don't think that makes me biased. I just think it allows me to not get caught up in the emotion. So now let's get into this documentary. Now, I'm not going to break down every minute of the documentary because that would make the video too long. I'm just going to get into some key elements. There's 4 main things about this documentary. R. Kelly sleeping with underage girls, R. Kelly being emotionally abusive, R. Kelly being physically abusive, and kidnapping, holding girls hostages against their will. So when I first heard about this documentary, I thought I was going to see a bunch of underage girls being interviewed talking about how R. Kelly took advantage of them. To my surprise, all the women who was on tape speaking about their relationship with R. Kelly, I believe there was about 8 or 9 of them. Out of those 8 or 9 women, only one of them was underage. Now, there was a couple 17-year-olds, but in the state of Illinois, the legal age of consent is 17. Now, that might be too young for R. Kelly, who at the time was in his 30s. That might be morally wrong, but it's not illegal. Now, the one girl that was illegal, her name was Geronda Pace. She said she met R. Kelly when she was 14, but they didn't hook up until she was 16. But when she did hook up with him at 16, she also stated she lied about her age.
I did lie about my age and tell him that I was 19.
So the only underage girl in this whole documentary admitted she lied to R. Kelly about her age. She said she was 19. And then later on, she also signed a non-disclosure agreement to not talk about it. But yet she in this documentary talking about it. And they don't ask her why about her non-disclosure agreement in the documentary. That was something was wrong about this documentary. They didn't ask questions to dig deeper. They didn't even ask her, did she have to pay the money back? And more importantly, if she did, who paid the money back? She got paid off. So with only one underage girl in this whole documentary, ask yourself, how did people come away with this perception that R. Kelly was sleeping with underage girls when only one was underage? And I know that's one too many, but she lied about her age. It was all mostly hearsay in this documentary. I'm not saying he didn't sleep with underage girls, a lot of them, but I'm talking about this documentary in specific. It was all hearsay. It was people talking about what they seen in the studio, what they heard about in the studio.
When you see that there are girls there that look young, it becomes very questionable to me. And I didn't check IDs and didn't ask for IDs, but
he didn't check IDs. So why is he even in the documentary? Then another thing they would do, they would put on the screen that a certain young lady met R. Kelly when they was 14, like this young lady right here. But throughout the whole documentary, she never talked about sleeping with R. Kelly herself. She only talked about what she seen in the studio. At some point, she became older, but never reported anything. And this guy right here was a cop speaking about what he seen.
R. Kelly there on a regular basis, and these were high school girls, freshmen, sophomores. I couldn't tell exactly, but I know they were students at the high school.
Well, if you couldn't tell exactly, how did you know they was freshmen and sophomores? But you could tell he was told to say it like that for this documentary. See, that's the thing I didn't like about this documentary. All these people talking about what they seen. This man is a police officer. If you seen something illegal, why you didn't go and say something? Why you didn't start an investigation? You are a police officer, but now you want to be in a documentary speaking about it? I mean, they even had girls in the documentary who had nothing to do with R. Kelly, who would say, I seen him when I was 14, I seen him at the high school. When I was 12 years old, I seen him at McDonald's.
The first time I saw R. Kelly, I was probably around 12, maybe 13. We would hang out at the McDonald's in Hyde Park.
I was 14 years old. We'd always see him come in by himself, but leave with some student.
Now, I'm not saying these girls are lying, but they had nothing to do with R. Kelly. R. Kelly's younger brother even lied on him.
So I spoke out and said, hey, that's not me. That's not me. And I have nothing to do with that. I took it further and said other things that I had no knowledge of. I was just saying things to actually hurt him, to be honest. I was saying things that I heard other people saying. He's a pedophile. He has molested girls. So I was saying that because that's what I heard. I never saw it.
His own brother lied when R. Kelly took him off the payroll. Lies after lies. This man right here helped R. Kelly get away with everything from the beginning. And now he want to be in the documentary getting emotional, talking about how he let people down. Man, I'm not falling for your after-the-fact tears. You wasn't feeling that way when you was driving around in that Mercedes. You wasn't feeling that way when you bought your house with R. Kelly's money. Now you want to get sympathy in this documentary? Come on, man. All these people seen this man doing all this stuff for years and never reported anything. Why? Because they was on the payroll. Y'all all just as guilty. People who enjoy it in the moment, but later on want to act like it was all bad. Case in point, this young lady, Lisa Van Allen. She met R. Kelly when she was 17. Now, there's people on the internet who's found out she may have been 18. She's talked about sleeping with the 14-year-old girl with R. Kelly, having threesomes with R. Kelly. Why is she not locked up? She admitted to sleeping with a 14-year-old girl. She should be locked up. And now you want to be in this documentary with tears? When at the time you wasn't in tears? I'm sorry if I'm being insensitive. I'm just not going to fall for these after-the-fact tears. She's the one who stole the tape of R. Kelly. She started all this stuff. She stole the tape, probably because she was on it.
I actually ended up contacting Rob and told him that I had took the tape. He flew me back up to Chicago. I told him that they probably wouldn't just give it back to me, that they probably need something or whatever to get it back. And so he arranged for them to be paid to get him back his tape.
And then gonna say she gave it to a friend, and the friend is the one who was trying to extort R. Kelly. And she's just playing the middleman. Who believes that? Even R. Kelly's accused her of extortion. But she want to conveniently act like she had nothing to do with it. Come on. Folks, she participated in criminal acts. And now she want to be in this documentary crying? Now, I know R. Kelly was too old for her, but nobody put a gun to her head or forced her to molest a child. Not falling for these after-the-fact tears. I know y'all saying, Yammy, she was a young girl. She didn't know what she was doing. Come on now. She didn't know what she was doing when she was trying to extort R. Kelly. That's what his lawyers say. I didn't believe anything she said from that point on. Once I catch you in a lie, if you lie about one little thing, you will lie about anything. Even his ex-wife was in the documentary. And she said something, I just didn't believe her. And I'm not here to say she didn't go through some stuff. I'm just saying in this documentary, when I feel like you lied about something, how can I believe anything you said? You see this man right here, he was one of R. Kelly's helpers too. It was his bodyguard, a childhood friend. He was there from the beginning helping R. Kelly get away with all these things. And this is Andrea's brother. He introduced Andrea to R. Kelly.
My sister, Andrea Lee at the time, now Kelly.
He was R. Kelly's bodyguard, a childhood friend. So now listen to Andrea. She wants us to believe this.
Going to an audition, first of all, who the hell is R. Kelly? Because I never heard of him at that point. He's like, no, you should come, it's dope. He's got this new song out called Sex Me. He's going on tour, he's looking for dancers.
She killed it.
Now, did you hear what Andrea said? She didn't know R. Kelly. She wants to believe that in the 1990s, the only thing bigger than R. Kelly in Chicago was Michael Jordan. R. Kelly was famous even before he dropped his first album because of all the local talent shows. And her brother is working for this man, and she gonna act like she didn't know who R. Kelly was when she met him? Come on, how can I believe anything else she say? But y'all can, but not YAAAMS. This woman right here was 33 years old when she met R. Kelly. She quit her job, a professional job, to move to Chicago to be with R. Kelly. She talking about she was in love and in a relationship, but yet this man had all these other women around. Then she said she found out about the sex tape with R. Kelly and the 14-year-old girl. And she told R. Kelly, he got mad and told her to get back to Chicago. She told R. Kelly, I won't tell nobody, I'll keep your secret about the sex tape. How can I believe anything she said when everyone know the sex tape wasn't a secret? Everybody knew about that sex tape. She said R. Kelly beat her in the car when she got back to Chicago. And the documentary people don't ask questions like, did you have bruises? Did you report this to the police? Did he lock you up from going to did he stop you? Did he prevent you from going to the police after you got abused? Time after time, they never ask these tough questions. But during this serious conversation, she chose to make jokes.
Dance Moms was a show that he would look at, ironically, with little girls dancing or whatever.
Now, can somebody out there tell me why she had to add that in this documentary? Because they wanted to add drama. And the most dramatic scene of the whole documentary was when a mother was going to rescue her 22-year-old daughter from R. Kelly. And I understand to her, this was a serious issue. She didn't want her daughter with R. Kelly. And can you blame her? He was too old for her daughter. And he is morally bankrupt. We all know that. So I can understand a mother's love is real. And I believe she was serious about this. But the producers of the documentary should be ashamed of themselves. They dramatized this like it was some kind of kidnapping. She went to the hotels in Beverly Hills. She was going to hotel after hotel, cameras following her. While R. Kelly, her daughter's in Beverly Hills. R. Kelly is back in Chicago. She finally found her daughter in one of the hotels. Now, if you think her daughter was in some real danger, wouldn't she be taking the police instead of a film crew? And then if the police not around, she'd go get Willie Poo Poo and them. You gonna go get your daughter back by all means. You ain't gonna take a film crew. You gonna get the police involved if your daughter's in real danger. Now she finally talked to her daughter. Daughter, open the door. What kidnapped victim can open the door? But they dramatized this stuff. Man, it was amazing how they dramatized it. She talked to her daughter. She finally convinces her daughter to leave. They just walked out the hotel. She was free, but she eventually went back to R. Kelly. But that's amazing. She just walked out the hotel, but yet they want to tell me this man is kidnapping and holding people hostage. Now, folks, y'all tell me, when have a kidnapper ever put a kidnappee up in a 5-star hotel in Beverly Hills? There was only one reason to dramatize that the way they did, to make it look like R. Kelly was holding these women against their will and torturing them. But yet, it was woman after woman who said when they got tired of the situation, they just left. They packed their bags and left.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back, and that's why I had to walk away. After that incident happened between us, I powered my phone off and I left and I never looked back.
So I packed my bags and left the house.